ready for that DRI show?
Oh, dude, I can't wait. It's going to be off the chain.
Hey, guys. Hey, man, what's up?
Alright, so before we really get into this, are we ready for this video tonight?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, so I know I just said that, but who are we talking about?
We're doing Brutal Acclivity. They're a metal band.
So, true metal.
Yeah, I'd consider them true metal.
But we're also going to be doing Adrian Taylor. He's country music.
Whoa. True country?
Yeah, Charlie. True country.
Okay.
Anyway, okay. We're going to be doing Metamor Phose. They're, think, like classic metal, kind of.
Like true classic metal or just some...
Yes, Charlie. True classic metal.
Okay.
And then we're going to be doing Hollow Lane. They're a pop punk kind of band.
Whoa, wait a second. Are we talking like true pop punk or...
I'm done. All right, welcome to FusionPit Presents. I'm Alec.
I'm Charlie.
And I'm Jordan.
And Jordan is actually filling in for Joe this week. And with that being said, we are doing a brief history of local releases, part 6.
Released in late 2012, the band Brutal Acclivity put out this 6-track demo titled The Ascension. While I feel these 6 songs focus with the guitars and drums mainly, the guitars seem to have this kind of free-flowing, almost kind of like soaring vibe with the higher strings. The drumming, I feel, seems to really follow that incredibly well. But the vocals, I feel, are just slightly out of place. Most likely the clean singing in the song The Grave, about partway through it. But I'm kind of a sucker for clean singing in certain songs, and I feel that despite clean singing not really kind of fitting in, I still feel like it really kind of helped set the mood and flow of the song. And for that reason, my favorite song from this demo would be The Grave.
Music Lightning was released by a pop punk band named Hollow Lane in 2014. To me, they have a sound, or their sound is more like Good Charlotte mixed with Panic at the Disco. To me, one of the songs that I really like in it is Go Ninja, mainly because with this type of music, their drums are usually more upbeat and consistent with upbeat, but in Go Ninja, it was more, it slowed down, it started off slow, picked up but not too quick, and then dropped it back to a slower tempo, and they kept working with it back and forth, and it worked well with that song. The next song that I actually like by them, which I think is my favorite, is called A Boy and a Guitar. My main reason why I like that is because it's an acoustic song. It's just the lead singer and an acoustic guitar is all you hear. It's really clean for being more of a live recording, because in the background you can hear the crowd cheering, you can hear the crowd talking, which I think was pretty cool and different, because most live recordings is usually muffled for the artist, and for them it wasn't. It was actually nice and clean. I would also have to say that for them, in this album, I've noticed that they go from your normal pop punk to having a little reggae twist in it, which was definitely different and unique, but they pulled it. It was great. And for me, honestly, I would get this CD, even though it's not my the type of music I typically listen to all the time, but this is definitely a great CD that I would enjoy listening to over again.
"1134-1135" was released in 2004 by Metamor Phose, featuring Dwayne Vonberg from Future Decay. And this album is probably one of the most unique albums I've listened to from around here, in the sense that there was a lot going on in this one release. In a lot of songs, you had this very Iron Maiden, Judas Priest inspired classic metal vibe to it, with a lot of instrumentals being influenced by both of these bands. Whereas sometimes you also got these almost slowed down thrash metal tunes that had a lot of maybe groove metals and hard rock splashed into it. Now the vocals did have a preferred style. They didn't scream, they didn't growl, but they didn't sing either. It was more singing with heat. It was powerful and it was gritty. Now, although the majority of this album did showcase this style of vocal, he did have moments where he'd mix it up. He'd put in some really high range singing, but also sometimes he'd drop down into this deep voice and do some narration that would lead up into these clean vocals, high range singing. Now, my favorite songs off of this album have to be Time's Passing, Drifting Sorrow, and Endless Ocean, because they seem to tell a story within a story. They're labeled as Oceans Part 1 through 3, and they're very seamlessly woven together, especially with Drifting Sorrow to Endless Ocean, where Drifting Sorrow is it's an acoustic piece with some grit. It had edge to it, but it was very clean and very soft-spoken almost. And it slowly dissipated and melted into this very upbeat, heavy track with Endless Ocean.
Adrian Taylor released a demo in 2012 called Ignorant. On this demo, he has mainly covers of anybody from Brentley Gilbert to Jason Aldean. He also had a Chris Young song called Tomorrow on there, which is a pretty good song. It has a lot of lows in it, but it also, at one point, also kicks up high. I want to say his best song on there was a Brentley Gilbert, Colt Ford country rap song that Jason Aldean actually covered, that AJ covered, and with AJ doing it, he put his own spin on all these covers and made it somewhat unique to himself, which I liked. He also has a original song called Ignorant that is kind of a love song, which with all the other covers that he has on there actually ties in pretty good because it's a slower song compared to all the upbeat songs.
Before I go into this album, I'm going to go into a very brief snippet of history. Desecrator was a death metal band who split, and half of those members went on to form Decayed Existence. And through Decayed Existence was released a two-part compilation called Decompositions. And Decompositions consists of some old school Desecrator songs and some old school Decayed Existence songs. And that's really what this compilation is. It's old school death metal. And when you listen to it, you get this flash from the past. Like you're in the late 80s, early 90s when death metal really started to rise in Shasta County. And with a lot of these songs, you get a ton of variety. With some quick, upbeat, headbanging, aggressive tracks like Poetry of the Dead, or very slow, brooding, maybe not as aggressive, but much more sinister, evil vibe to it, with songs like Human Debris. Now, there's also some different vocal inflections on this compilation, with some of them, they're death growls, but they're not super low gutturals either. They almost remind me of the vocals that I would listen to on the latest Misery Index album. Whereas you do get songs that feature these super low gutturals that sound like they're coming out from the depths of hell. Now, my favorite songs off of this compilation have to be Hammers of Wrath, which was actually a Desecrator track, and Human Debris, which is a Decayed Existence track. Alright, this has been FusionPit Presents. I'm Alec.
I'm Charlie.
And I'm Jordan.
You guys are awesome. Stay metal.